Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Script Supervisor Power Hour. It's been a while since we've done a YouTube International Live. We've been going, we switched the format up in my program where I go live every week still, but this year we've been going live on Zoom instead of, Facebook Lives and all of that. So it's nice to be back. Feel free to, if you're here with me, it says I've got a couple of people here with me. Type in the chat where you're from. Feel free to ask me any questions. I didn't really get like tons of questions this week at all. So I have a lot of stuff to tell you about though. First of all, I'm in Toronto today and it's boiling hot, which is weird for Toronto. Very strange to have warm weather all of a sudden, but hey, like, I guess I won't complain. If I was on a show right now, it would be beautiful. I'm not because of my mom, you guys. It's Sally. Hi, Sally. Sally in Alabama. I'm tempted to answer your question about story consulting, even though it's not really a script supervision question. We'll see how much time we have at the end. Hey, Marco. So let me do some shout outs because we have a bunch of hallelujahs every single week or whenever they happen. We like to shout out all the small and big things that have been going on for my director whisperers. And I want to start with Karen Ruby, one of my A-listers. Her a short that she script supervised is playing, I think it played last night, and it's playing again at the Hollywood Reel Independent Film Festival. So congratulations, Karen. Janie Karaya in London has had a bunch of shorts, but she had a big festival recently. And I'm sorry, Janie, I didn't write down the name, but she's posted a lot of wonderful social media time. It feels like it's red carpet time for a lot of the indie world right now, for sure. Dana Coops in LA got a feature. She got a comedy feature. It's not her first one, but as many of the people in LA know, there's been a barrage of verticals, and this one's not a vertical. It's a proper comedy indie. So that's a big hallelujah, I think, for Dana. And Massimiliano in London is on a BBC Three sketch comedy feature, and he got to work with some. I don't know if I'm allowed to say who the guest stars were. He's worked with some big comedy guest stars, and the stars of the show are pretty big in the comedy world too. So hallelujah to Massimiliano. Hopefully I can announce the name of the show eventually. And hallelujah to Derek Ho. Derek is both in my script supervision and screenwriting program, and his short got into Cannes. Cannes World Film Festival has a screenwriting portion. And so hallelujah to Derek in Toronto. And Hannah in Toronto, oh my God, Hannah Byrne just graduated, and she also just finished her first paid gig in film, and she got accolades from the director producer. So hallelujah, Hannah, that's wonderful. Yeah, your future's so bright, you got to wear shades. I say that to a lot of my students because it's just true. And Janice in Vancouver just booked an indie feature. Vancouver, by the way, side note, if you don't know, Vancouver is going to be really busy for the next little while if the trades are to be believed, and generally they are to be believed. I try to keep up with Variety, Hollywood Reporter, and Production Weekly, and Vancouver's got a lot of work coming. So this is the first sort of sign that it's true, because Janice works in the indie world, and it's going to be both indie and union. And Marco, I want to shout out to Marco because he just graduated, and his notes were some of the best notes I'd ever seen. So we do this exercise in the class where we do a script timing breakdown, and I see all kinds of formats, and of course, I teach you guys industry standard, and there's no one format though, right? As long as all the elements of a script timing breakdown are there, as long as the timing is accurate within. I have certain markers, like if you're doing a 1 hour show, you got to be within 2 minutes of my timing, because my timings were always strong. These are from shows I've done. So Marco nailed hi Miguel. Marco nailed not only the timing, but his format was like chef's kiss. So hallelujah, Marco. That's a really super good start to your career. Very, very, I love seeing that, because it's terrible, but I will shout out who's got the most amazing breakdowns. And for a long time it was Stewie Lowry, and I think Stewie's still there, but we had Jesse Ray in Toronto. just come up out of nowhere and just was like incredible. She used to be in costume, so it made sense that she'd be used to doing that. But Marco, like, who has not come from a film background, just is very, very impressive, Marco. Sally says, go Marco. Miguel, nice to see you. I still don't know when I'm coming to London. It's my mom's health is doing okay. She's had like a little bit of a sugar spike, so we don't know what that means, but like her blood sugar just shot through the roof. But ideally I'm in London in May or June, just to say hello. I'll talk more about like the live workshops in a bit. Are those all my hallelujahs? And hallelujah to me because Vladimir premiered. I still haven't. Okay, so Vladimir is the miniseries I worked on in summer and fall last year. Phenomenal. It's phenomenal. I mean, that's just from working on it. I haven't seen it yet because I know once I sit down to watch it, I'm going to binge all 6 hours. It's like, 3 hours. It's 8 half-hour episodes, so 4 hours. And I know once I sit down, I'm just going to like be glued. It was so good. But hallelujah to me because the show got a 5-star review from the Manchester Guardian, and then it got like I've been getting personal reviews from my friends saying I binged the whole thing. So I can't wait. What I did was last night I went to see Sinners in the cinema. Now I know I have a student, I have an A-lister who did Train Dreams. She was the script supervisor on Train Dreams. She's like, go watch Train Dreams. I will catch up. I literally haven't seen any of the Oscar-nominated films, so I thought I'd start now that the Oscars are coming up. But I watched Sinners on a big screen last night, and it was great. I went to Yes, Miguel, you need to watch Vladimir. It's a British series, essentially. The creator, the author of the book, the showrunner, Julia May Jonas, is a New Yorker, but everyone else pretty much is a Brit. So, of course, one of our exec producers is American. He exec produced Modern Family, but, why did I suddenly blank on her name? Sharon Horgan. Sharon Horgan is our British producer, and most of the cast, almost all the cast except John Slattery is UK. The rest are Canadian and US actors. So it's a very heavily, it's multinational, but very heavily British show. Oh, hi, Debbie. I've got Deborah Kelty here. Oh, I love it. I love that you guys are all here. Train Dreams was really excellent. Recommend, says Marco. Molly is an incredible script supervisor, and and she also speaks very, very highly of it. Sorry, I interrupted myself. What was I talking about before I re-interrupted myself with Vladimir? Oh my God, this happens all the time, doesn't it? Oh, I forgot to say that a bunch of director whispers continue to get love letters from both directors and editors. So hallelujah to you. In the last week, it's been Dana, Nuseba, Hannah from directors, and Max got one from an editor. So if you guys didn't see, over Christmas, I had done a talk for the 12 Days of Scriptmas, which was a kooky event I did for the period between Christmas and sort of January 5th. And I'm starting to finally edit them. Yes, I will finally edit the five golden mentors. I interviewed all the script supervision teachers kind of in North America and Emma Thomas. Miguel says, I'm graduating with 9 credits in student projects as a script supervisor. So many hallelujah for me with some love letters from editors. Phenomenal, Miguel. One day I hope you do join my course. I know you're already like brilliant in what you do. That's wonderful. That's great. That's great. And Miguel, are you going to try to get an agent on graduation? In the UK, they have agents for script supervisors. That's how Max got on his BBC series. A lot of people, you can get on shows without an agent in the UK, but it really helps if you have one. So it might behoove you. Miguel, I have people with fewer credits than that who graduated my course who have agents. So it might be worth looking into. It's not a thing in North America. It's not a thing in most of the world, but in the UK, it is recommended, I would say. And like, you'll have to do your research and decide for yourself who is the right agent for you. Because I don't want to like tell you who's good or not, but maybe if you DM me, I'll give you some rumors. You were thinking of agents and or courses. Oh, thank you. But like, you graduated. That's a hallelujah. Graduating film school is a hallelujah. Okay, so love letters. Oh yeah, so love letters. I did. So I edited and released how to get love letters from editors on my YouTube channel. Because people, I had asked for feedback about the 12 days of Scriptmas, and that talk got a lot. I don't release everything I do to the public. People think I do because my YouTube channel is so super full. They think that I'm just putting all my content on YouTube. That is a fraction. There's a fraction of what I've done, but I like to put really good stuff on YouTube, right? And people were, and I know it's all good, right? No, but people were really loving love letters, how to get love letters from editors. So I put that on YouTube. So it's available for anyone who wants to know about the workflow between a script supervisor and editor, and just to get a sense of the different layers of things I teach that might be different from other courses. Okay, so some not so good news. These are the opposite of a shout out, but I need to honor it and talk about it. I've had 4 members of my union local die in the last 10 days. One of them died on set. So it's important that we acknowledge that this is a crazy industry. The people who died were not old. They're a little bit older than me. I'm 56, so turning 57. So it's important to take care of ourselves. I'm seeing more and more posts about the 8-hour workday. Of course, I made a video about it in 2021 because I started to notice how many people were dying, like very young, in my union. And I went through all the obituaries of my union local, and just to get a sense of like how old were people when they died. We didn't always know what they died of. But there are various, like, people always ask me, when you did that study, what did people die of? Yes, Miguel. I mean, it's not only our local. And the funny thing is, so I came to a conclusion, like I just looked at the age of death for everybody. And the conclusion for Toronto was 58 and a half years old. I'm almost there, guys. My friend who died, so property masters from like the assistant property master on Vladimir was one of the people who died. The property so I guess we had 2 people in props die, and the property master on another show had a heart attack on set. Very sad. And these people were like only a few years older than me. Okay, so like this is hits home for a lot of us. And I believe one of the other 2 people who died was a driver, and he was younger than me. There's a video on my channel, which, you know, people are like, my mother's like, no one is going to buy your courses if you tell them, you know, they're going to die. I want you guys to know that I'm not here to sell you courses. I mean, I am, but I am not. I want you guys to, my main goal is to have you guys thrive, right? That's always been, and I hope you guys get that. I want you to thrive because this is a crazy, hard industry. And it just gets harder all the time sometimes. And there are days when you're going to want to weep. And there are days when you think you're not going to be able to go on. And we've had a lot of those days in the past couple of years. Things are looking up. The work is really sweeping back in a big way, even in LA. But let's not forget that we need to take care of ourselves. And you guys know I had a health scare in my late 30s, which caused me to kind of roll back how often I was going to be on set. So I tried to be on set 6 months a year. Last year, I kind of went over that a bit, only because the projects were so good. But people, you know, but I asked my bosses for days that I needed off because my mother's health, right? You guys know my mother's health is, she's at the end of her life, and I needed to be there for her. So I asked for 2 episodes off of Vladimir. And, you know, earlier in my career, I never would have done that. I never would have, I mean, I had one of the best script supervisors in the world cover for me. I had one of my top students in Canada come in and do dailies. I had one of my first students I ever trained come in and do the end, like we had some pickup days at the end. So I had a team, like I had 4 people in the script supervision department, and I'm very proud of myself for asking for what I needed. And I'm very happy that production gave me what I needed. In fact, I was so scared to ask them. But the producer said to me, you know, family first. And that is, thank you, Chris. That was gold. That meant everything to me. we still got the show done. The show is incredible. We didn't miss a beat continuity wise. We were all in communication. We all, we delivered, we helped deliver the show that it is. I haven't watched a frame yet because I know I'm going to park myself in front of the TV and I'm not going to be able to peel myself away for 4 hours. And I'm teaching a story editing class, which has been consuming a lot of my time. But all that to say, don't be afraid to ask for what you need. I know that in the UK, your hours are more sane, but in North America, we're still doing 12 to 16-hour days. Just let's keep moving towards an 8-hour day. So the video on my channel that I did in 2021 is called In Praise of the 8 to 10-Hour Shoot Day. And trigger warning, there's a death scroll at the end of all my union peers who died before the age of 60. So the point being that 51% of my union peers died before the age of 60. So not to put a downer on but I have to honor the fact that 4 people died in the last couple of weeks, which is higher than usual. I know, planetarily, not to get woo-woo on you, but planetarily, we're in this major shift. If you haven't noticed that the world is on fire, we're in this major shift, but at the end of this major shift is supposed to be a whole new consciousness. So let's bring in the idea of well-being in the film industry as part of this whole new consciousness. What else did I want to tell you? I don't know if she found a cover. One of the director whispers in Melbourne, Australia is looking for a cover. So if you're watching this and you're one of my students, like most of my Australian students are either working or they're not in Melbourne, you can DM me and I'll put you in touch with Trez. It's Trez Ellis. And I wanted to shout out to one of the director graduates of my program is teaching this incredible class in Kitchener, Ontario. I think it's such a genius idea. He's also my writing partner, Paul Hopkins. We wrote an incredible series. No, we wrote a pilot that is really exciting. I'm actually going to go up to Kitchener and work on the final pitch deck with him this week. But Paul is teaching. He normally teaches Meisner, like he teaches acting and Shakespeare. He was part of Stratford Festival. He's been on TV. You guys know him as Mouse Tolliver in Further Tales from the City, not the last version, but the one before. If you're a kid, you know him from Vampires and other sort of Disney kind of shows. But Paul is teaching this class called Set Life, and it's both for actors and crew, and they're going to make a film. Basically, the class is 2 weekends. They're going to cast and write the film in the first half, and he's going to train actors who have never acted on camera. And the second weekend, they're shooting the film. And he is looking for a script supervisor. I have connected with him with some people, but I'll post it I think I forgot to post it in our gig list. But anyway, so yeah, I forgot to mention that. Okay. Miguel says, I've seen an alarming number of crew posts about how it's normal for shoot days to extend over 12 hours. Miguel, are you talking about in the UK? Is that happening? Because that's crazy. That means we're bringing, like the American producers are bringing their horrible ways over to the UK. In Italy and in France, the crew's like, no, we cut it off at 10 hours. There's heavy, heavy fines and penalties for going over that. And in fact, the crew has the right to, here's the thing. And this is something I learned back when I started in the film business. When I first started in Toronto, of course, I was non-union, like everyone else starts non-union. Back then, the only power you have as a non-union crew is that, when you're a union member, you sign, you can't just walk off set. You are committed to that shoot. You have to do the time. Yes, they pay you properly and they pay you penalties, but you can't leave. But in non-union, what we used to do at the 12-hour mark, mostly because we were working on flats, so basically they'd be asking us to work for free beyond the 12-hour mark. We just put our tools down at the 12-hour mark and walk away. That was the thing. We'd take a crew vote. So you have a lot of power. And I know you guys, unions don't work the same way in Bec 2 is a little bit different. It's a different thing. It's not like they're, it's a lot different. So the power you guys have as a crew is to say no. You can say, well, no, we're not going to do that. That's what they do in Italy. It's great. I noticed that. And guess what? The movies still get made to an incredible level. So don't think that the movie's going to be any worse for it. People just have to learn how to work within the 8 to 10 hour day. I mean, like, I know the UK is more used to 8 or 9. Julie says, oh, hi, Jules. Need cheering up. Missed out on 2 high-end dramas as an assistant script supervisor. Emails were scarily very similar from both productions. We decided to go with someone with less experience. I don't think you need to go through the assistant script supervisor, Jules. Just go for that. Like, you're trained to be a script supervisor from me and from the NFTS. Just go for it. And maybe, Jules, are you looking at agents as well? Do you have an agent? I think in the UK, because of where you are, it will really, really help. I believe it's a bit of both, says Miguel. Wow. Yeah, I mean, we got to all push back on this. I mean, to be fair, in my day, because I'm very old, we used to work like, once I said, raise your hand if you've ever worked a 24-hour day. I've worked 2 24-hour days in my career. I've also worked a 23-hour day. I've worked a zillion 16-hour days. These are not proud things. These are like, oh my God, like this, you start to question your own sanity. You need more credits for agent. No, you don't. No, you don't. Helen got an agent. I think she's got 1 credit. You don't need more credits for agents, Jules. But anyway, you don't have to get an agent. I'm just asking. But don't go on the assumption that you need more credits. It's busy now. So they're going to need people. You're extremely well educated. So you just got to go for it. It is cool that you guys can do the assistant script supervisor route and keep applying. But I don't think that's a path you necessarily need to take. You're also a director. You've got so much going for you. Oh, and Julie, don't put directing on your resume. Sometimes people get really weirded out by that. Have a version of your resume with your directing credits and your writing stuff. But you took the resume workshop, right? Because part of like the course, you get feedback on your resume. I can't remember if you ever sent me your resume for feedback, but you definitely need to take your directing credits off your resume when you're applying for assistant script supervisor positions. That's going to weird people out. I've seen that happen. It's stupid, but people are dumb. So of course, for a script supervisor, it's you got to be a big asset, right? I had a student, I want to say 15 years ago in Toronto, who had a lot of producing experience, and she was also a driver. Like, she just did it all because she was raising kids, and she never got hired for script on bigger shows because they're like, oh no, you're a producer. Like, they really, really dismissed. It is possible to get the overqualified kind of, so I mean, I always think it's not a horrible thing to hear you're overqualified. It just means aim higher, like aim for higher shows and higher gigs, and just throw your hat in the ring. Unfortunately, we kind of sometimes have to dumb down our resume. I think if you saw that workshop, it's in the last module of Director Whisper. And it might have been after you graduated the course. I can't remember, but look, it's there on your dashboard. And it's also in, I haven't released film. I was going to say it's also in Film Work Playbook. Haven't released it yet. It is coming. It is coming. I'm going super slow because I keep getting interrupted with my story editors and my mom. So it's coming. But the resume workshop will also be in there. There's versions, I have 4 versions of my resume. I have my pure script supervision one, which is just the script supervision credits. For people in that, and then I have one that's got all my writing, teaching, everything, industry mentorship. That one is 5 pages long. Acting, other people don't need to know that, but I keep that really long one for when you apply for international work visas. You got to give them the full shebang, right? It's not only about your script supervision experience. So I have my this is everything I've done in film, which is a massive thing. And then, so have different versions, but when you're applying for assistant script supervisor, it's about your education and your script credits. You can put related film work if you have related experience and put that in a separate section, but don't put directing. Put if you've done, I don't know, a runner, PA runner, that kind of stuff. That actually bodes well for I always say you don't have to start as a PA, because it's true. As a runner in the UK, you really don't. You should start as either an assistant script supervisor or a script supervisor. But if you have that kind of related experience, definitely put it in. Yeah, I honestly think that's what's happening, Jules. You just have a lot of experience, so like of directing and stuff. And don't sweat it. Take that as a good sign. Who was it that wrote to me? Andrea in Toronto wrote to me that she sent me a TikTok. Guys, I don't have TikTok, so I couldn't open the clip, but she said she saw this TikTok video about background continuity. Hey, Eddie. Eddie, how did it go? Did you do your thing with Carolyn? Eddie was getting some shadowing experience. Cheers to you. I forgot to shout you out in the hallelujahs. I love that I'm doing like the world-facing public version of Power Hour, and all the students are here, and Miguel. Miguel's always here. I love it. So Andrea was asking me about background continuity and how that works with us. So of course we're aware of background continuity, and especially if it affects an edit that is relating to we're focused on the actors. We have enough to focus on with the actors and their dialogue and the coverage. But obviously, if there's a background issue that is going to compromise the shot, like examples would be like if you have the same background person standing behind people on both sides of the table, obviously it's like, what? Why is that guy on both sides of the table? Oh my God, Eddie says, yes, very good experience. Thank you. A very positive start to the week after having 2 jobs. Oh, you had 2 jobs canceled? Boo. Okay, that's an anti-hallelujah. But at least keep going. A lot of things keep getting pushed too. I've been hearing that. Hey, Stephanie. Oh, Stephanie, you did ask me a question, didn't you? I can't remember your question. Oh yeah, you sent me. Okay, so Stephanie sent me. I'm gonna just say what I remember. So Stephanie sent me a clip from Suits, like a little example from Suits, because in the course I talk about how we didn't cross the axis until episode 7. Yes. And then she sent me, I said, can you, and she sent me, she was watching episode 4 and she saw an axis cross. She goes, I just want to know if I'm not crazy. I said, can you just give me a little clip? And she sent it to me, but I obviously can't play it here. And I actually haven't looked at it. We're going to do it in next week's Zoom so that I can comment. But I have a feeling, because obviously we didn't intentionally cross the line. And if we, I believe, because I know that like I catch every eyeline cross and everything, that's one of my fortes, that it was one of those things where, so on Suits we shot with 2 cameras, sometimes 3 cameras, and we'd shoot coverage that wasn't intended to cut with certain other coverage. This happens a lot, so it's good for you guys to hear this specific example. So I'm guessing it was one of those where, oh, this cutaway was meant to cut with this look from Harvey, but instead the editor used it in a different thing and the eyeline was across. And now I haven't looked at it yet, so I don't know if that's the case, but I'm guessing that's the case because it happens all the time. We write notes to the editor and say, this is intended for this eyeline, and they decide, well, the performance was so good, we're going to use it anyway in the cut. But we'll confirm it at next week's Zoom in our private class group. Nice to see you, Stephanie. So Stephanie, Janice just got a gig in Vancouver, and you're in Vancouver. Just let us know how it is going. I started to answer something, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, the background actors. Oh, Deborah says, I've managed to hear back this weekend from the lady I worked with before, and she sent me the script and current storyboards for this week, and we'll hopefully be filming in the summer soon. Congratulations. Hallelujah, Deborah. Stephanie says, makes sense. I'll be there next week. Yay. Yes. And I know Stephanie's like worked on a ton of commercials. So I just want you to get some long form gigs if you want them. They're there for the taking in Vancouver for sure. Reflections of cameras, do those get edited out? How does that work? Oh, they get painted out usually. So Sally's asking, what happens when there's like a reflection of the camera in the mirror or in like the car or in the window? What happens with those? Well, somebody usually calls them out on set. So whether that's the camera operator, the script supervisor, somebody will notice and say, hey, can you make a note that there's a reflection of the camera in that shot? And we make a note. If there's the budget, it'll be painted out. It's not even that hard to paint out depending on what the shot is. Obviously, if it's in a mirror, that's hard to paint out. But if it's in a window, there's easier ways to paint that out in post. So depending on what it costs, they will paint it out. If they don't get the note, if they don't read the note, if they decide it's not important, they'll leave it in the movie. But usually it's not. But we do have to. Somebody has to catch it. Somebody has to make them note. They may or may not go again. There may be no way to get the angle without having the reflection of the camera in the shot. It used to happen on Suits for the first season. Our windows didn't bevel, like in that main office set. They didn't. For some reason, the designer didn't make them bevel. So there was always a reflection, like of the boom, of the crew, of the camera. They spent so much money on painting it out in post VFX that in second season they beveled the glass so we could just tilt it until there was no reflection, which is the perfect solution. Just build it into your set. Julie says, my teenage daughter spotted a bad axis cross this week when watching a film. Hallelujah. That's awesome. Okay. That's hilarious. What else did I want to say? Oh yeah, we were talking about background actors. So how much are we in charge of the background continuity? Well, first I wanted to say that it's the third AD's job to manage the continuity of the background. And I know in the US, you guys don't call it third AD. I think you call it second. Right? Because the first AD sort of designs the background continuity often. Sometimes they leave it up to their third or their second. But the first AD will design it, but the third or the second is responsible for making sure that they're hitting their marks, they're making their cues, all of that. But stuff slips through the cracks, and like sometimes the ADs are not as experienced, or the worst case scenarios when they don't even understand the concept of continuity. So sometimes you do have to have words with them. And Andrea was asking me, like, how do they keep track of it? I said, well, because they design it. Oh, sorry, there's background noise. Because they actually design the background continuity. They'll say, oh, you're in a hurry, you're going to work, you're going to cross left to right when that person leaves. You know, they'll time it into what the foreground actors are doing. But the foreground actors, the main actors, and especially if people have to cross through frame, like, you know, through the foreground, or we got to time all that. So what I'm doing personally, Andrea, is I'll be making marks on my sides about when they cross through foreground. I may or may not have time to say which person crossed, but if someone's wiping through frame right to left, that's a cutting point, and I don't want it to be happening on different words. So I'll be tracking that for sure. And if something's off, I'll have a word with the third AD or the first. It depends. It depends, because sometimes it's really only the first who's dealing with it. It just, one of them. I'll have a word for whoever's responsible in terms of making sure the timing of the background connects. And sometimes directors want to just remove background actors from we don't call it background, we call them, the word has changed so many times, but it's been background performers for a long time in North America, and you guys call it something else, and I can't remember what you call it in the UK. Stephanie, I work in commercials, so not sure about everything else, but commercials are busy. They're super busy in Toronto too. Simon, oh yeah, hallelujah, Simon. He got a commercial. Well, he actually got a music video, but he got a commercial last week. Simon was my script supervisor, my daily on Vladimir, and one of my longtime students who also teaches script here in Toronto. But commercials are busy. I'm not super busy, but I have work and holds. Yes, I would love to get something long form. I did a short in December. Great. Well, you easily could get something long form, Stephanie, especially now. Like, the list is long. Saw a lot of indies for Vancouver, like non-union stuff. But in Vancouver, you can still get decent money for non-union. Sally says, interesting. I was chatting with the editor on the kids show I was on, and there was a Steadicam shot with a car, and he said none of these shots were usable because of the crew reflection in the car. So it depends how bad the reflection was and what he or she would have to paint out. Interesting. But there's always a way. Like, we do it all the time. If it was super indie, they might not have had the budget or the technology to do it. Stephanie says music video, that would be fun. Apparently it's a Japanese pop star who's shooting a music video in Toronto. So music videos don't often use a script supervisor at all. John Gilliam was telling us she got her start with John Singleton doing his music videos. So sometimes they do. It's often when they're shooting with multiple cameras, or they know they have a narrative story. Some music videos have narrative storytelling and some of them do not. We call them SAs, supporting artists. Walk-ons are still used sometimes. Oh, great. Sorry, needed my coffee. So did I tell you guys? Yeah, I watched Sinners in a cinema, and my friend who came with me said she had seen it on on streaming, and said it was okay. It wasn't that great. And then once we were in the theater, she was like, whoa. So some movies are meant to be experienced in a theater. She said it was a completely different film in the theater. And the theater was packed, by the way. That was the first time I had seen a theater packed in a long time. Hallelujah, because we need to start going back to the movies. And this is a segue into something I'm going to say, because I am teaching live workshops again. I haven't taught live workshops since February of 2020. All my workshops have been online. People have asked me if they can get their certification live. Over the years, they kept asking me, and I was like, it's 60 hours. It would be so expensive, blah, blah, blah. But I'm trying to figure out how to make it possible. And I figured out it is possible, certainly in Malta. So we're closing in on locking in dates for a Malta certification program live. So the Director Whisperer program done live over 2 weeks. We'd be 6 hours a day, Monday to Friday, for 2 weeks with the weekend off. So we'll do like social meetups on the weekend. I have a fixer in Malta. A shout out to Trixie. She is a travel coordinator for film, and she's the one who said, what about Malta? Because I took a poll of the people on my mailing list who aren't my students. I should have also polled my students, because my students are eligible to come to these just at a greatly reduced rate. So I took a poll of my non-students, and I said, if you had to pick anywhere in Canada, in Europe, I can't teach in the UK without an invitation, like legally, but I'm a European and I'm a Canadian, so I can teach in either of those parts of the world. And I said, what city would you pick? And guess what city they picked? They picked Toronto, which is hilarious to me. Toronto, you take your own city for granted. But then I thought, okay, well, that's hilarious, but I can certainly do Toronto. I know of some nice, affordable venues here that we could work in for 2 weeks. The best time to be here is during and after TIFF. So the Toronto International Film Festival, the weather's beautiful here. The film. The city is alive with energy. It's one of the only times I would say this is a great time to be in Toronto. So I'm looking at September 28th to October 9th. And I was thinking about the pricing structure. How would I price it? I was going to raise the cost of the program this year, but I'm not. I think what I'm going to do is, for the live events, the live workshops, they're going to cost the same as if you bought the program online. And then if you took it live and you want it, so right now that's $12.97 US with the European, actually with both, because they're live workshops, I have to charge the tax on top of that. So VAT is really high in Europe. So at least in Malta, they've got one of the lower VAT rates. It's 18%. So it would be that plus 18% for the workshop. And the cool thing about the Malta event is that my fixer there, she negotiated an all-inclusive deal. We're finalizing the contract still, but it's if this goes through, it's a phenomenal deal for hotel and food, like 3 meals a day, like good meals, for under €100 a day, which is incredible. And you can do shared accommodations, and that brings it down to €55 a day. So when you think about it, you kind of got to be there for 13, because you come on the Sunday night before and you stay through the weekend until the last Friday. You've got at least 10, 11, 12, 13 days. So it adds up, but like compared to what it would cost to put yourself up in Toronto. Now, I do have to say that I was really excited that the second choice of city was Dublin. I would love. I've also shot in. I've shot in Malta and I've shot in Dublin in my career, and they're both Ireland and Malta are both serious filmmaking nations. Like they make a lot of films. They make good films, and they have really good crews. So I would really love to do Dublin, especially for my people in Wales and the UK. It's really easy for them to get to Ireland. And I have a lot of future students in Ireland, past students in Ireland, not a lot of current. We have one of the scholarship winners was from like more rural Ireland. But so yeah, I'm very excited about that. But as I was doing the research, Dublin is so expensive for both workshop space and hotels. So it might be something I aim for either for 2027. I was going to try to sneak one in November, but I don't know if we'll have the demand, especially if we're doing Malta in January. So in my brain, the live workshops will be the same cost as the regular. And then how I'm going to work it, instead of raising the price for the course, if you want to upgrade to the online version and you studied with me in the live, it's going to be another $500 US. And if you are in my online program and you want to come to the live, it's $500 for you to do that. So there's like this little upgrade thing. And you know, you don't have to do either. It's up to you. Like if you take the live, if you want to do the online, but the online gives you, you know, lifelong Q&As, gives you Q&As for the rest of your career once a week. And it also gives you the online version of it, you know, to access for the rest of your life. So I think that's better than raising the price of the course, you know. So just wanted to announce that officially, and we'll be locking in dates for both in the weeks ahead, but I wanted to give you guys the heads up so you could start thinking about it. That means if you know you want to come to Malta and you're not in my program, I think join the online version first because you'll pay less VAT. I have to charge VAT on just the portion that's in Malta. So if your portion in Malta is 500 US, which is about 420 euro, you're only paying VAT on that rather than on 1297 US, which is about 1,000 euro. Exciting. Yeah, I think it's exciting too. Like I used to love teaching live before the pandemic. And then I thought, how can it, my last live one, I got to tell you something. When I used to teach live, it was 8 hours a day and I'd squish it into like weekends. And it was brutal on me, like to teach for 8 hours a day. So this way we're working 6 hours a day, taking a little lunch break in the middle. In the case of Malta, the food is coming to us. In the case of Toronto, I want to go look at, we found this very cool theater space in Trinity Bellwoods Park. Very cool. It's a comedy space, which is where I used to teach at a different comedy space in Toronto. And so I just want to make sure food is really nearby or that we can get it delivered in the middle of the day. Okay, so that was a big announcement too. In 2027, I really want to go to Australia. So the thing that's preventing me from going to Australia to teach sooner than that is, of course, my mom. It takes us 21 hours to fly to Australia. If she dies or gets extremely ill when I'm away, that would be tragic because I would not be able to get back in time, you know, for her death. So that's really, you know, we know that death is imminent for her. So at least according to the doctors. So I can get away with Europe because I can get back pretty fast. It's like an 8-hour flight or less. Let's knock wood that everything's good with my mom anyway, but I'm confident in those dates and I'm confident I can get to Australia in 2027. My writing students in Australia are truly, truly rocking it. They're just killing it. So I want to go for both the writing students and I was going to say the story editing students, the Script Supervision students in Australia. And if we can do Dublin in 2027, we will. I need help getting like deals there. I just don't have any. I haven't shot there since 1998, but maybe. I would love it. I would love doing Dublin. It was one of the best places I've ever worked. Any questions? Let me see. I talked about the workshops. I feel like no one asked me questions this week. I'll stay on until noon my time. Okay. Are you guys feeling more optimistic? People are saying the hope is coming back to the industry. Sally says, I don't know Malta's geography. Can you say in which area? It's on the north side. It's like everything is really close together. Malta's not a big place. I think it's about half an hour or less out of Valletta, which is the major city. I was asking for St. Julian's, which is where I stayed last time, which is about 15 minutes out of Valletta. She told me the name of she said it's on the North Shore. She told me the name of St. Paul's Bay. St. Paul's Bay. So it's not far. The thing I loved about Malta, so I shot there for 2 months. We did a feature there called A Previous Engagement with Juliet Stevenson in 2004. Over 20 years ago. There were buses that took you everywhere. Like their bus system is incredible, and they would just whip around the island and like really fast for 15 cents. For 15 cents. I'm sure the price has gone up in 20 years, but really, really efficient bus system. I remember the food being really good. That's always important to me. We shot there January, February on our movie. And so the weather was incredible for that time of year, like light sweater weather at most when you're outside. Of course, if you're on the ocean, like this hotel is on the ocean, on the sea, Mediterranean Sea, it's going to be a little cool. I have a friend who lives in Birmingham who is Maltese. There's a huge Maltese community in Toronto. So I'd like to talk to her about possibly being there. They're filming a lot of stuff right now. There's a couple of UK script supervisors who were at my meetups, or at least one, Lois, who's a very seasoned script supervisor, who was at my first meetup for sure. And I think she's at my first meetup for sure. I remember meeting Lois. She's working on the same show my fixer Trixie is on. So that's really cool. One of my favorite directors on Suits is a British director named Terry McDonough. He did the Doctor Who movie. He's won BAFTAs. He's won Emmys. He's like such a phenomenal director. He's directing a series in Malta called The Assassin, which is shooting right now, or at least about to shoot right now. There's just a lot scheduled for there. They can handle a lot, but they don't have a lot of locally based script supervisors. We have one in the program who works nice and steadily. She's Polish and Maltese, so she goes back and forth between the two countries. But I think Trixie was saying there's about 3 people locally who want to take the course, which is lovely. That would be great. With the live workshop, there's some things we can do in that class that I can't really do on the online version. Like we can do a mock shoot. On the live version, we do like a version of a mock shoot that is, I have you guys take continuity notes on like a really long, slow film scene, like from Down by Law, for example. Okay, trying to think what else. What else? There's a lot going on. I mean, people have asked me how I feel about the potential of upcoming strikes. I don't know what to say. I can't believe that we would actually put ourselves through that. I think the issue is important. The biggest issue in the strikes is AI, and that's a very important issue. I think both sides, sorry about the noise, I don't know if you hear that, the cleaners rolling their cart. Both sides are bringing, it behooves both sides to come to the table and bargain in good faith, because neither side, the technicians and the actors and the producers, none of us can afford can really afford another strike. So I have to live in hope that it's all going to be okay. There's a ton of work on the boards, and I would imagine that is because it could be because they're trying to front load the work in case there is a strike. But hold on, I'm going to ask her something. Are you working in here right now? Are you going to be doing this room? Oh, it's okay. Are you working in this room right now? Should I move over there? Okay, I'm just going to, sorry guys, this is a funny one to do on a live. I'm broadcasting all over the world. Oh, okay, so I should be okay for another few minutes here? No, I'll come there. Okay, sorry guys. I've never done this while being live, but I'm going to move to the other room. This is my co-working space in Toronto. It's called East Room. It's beautiful. I'm allergic to the cleaning stuff they use, so I try to, even if it's not noisy, I try to not be in full. Never done that on a live. Okay. So yes, I was really shocked. If anyone here is here who voted for Toronto, I'm really interested in finding out why you voted for Toronto. maybe it feels safe. I understand that part of it. It kind of is a safe city. It's somewhat affordable. It's actually really affordable for anybody because the Canadian dollar is lower than the euro and the American dollar. But yeah, I was really surprised. To be honest, I was really surprised. How are people feeling? Just how are people feeling in general? Yeah, that was my earlier question about the level of optimism. I'm hearing more and more optimism, as there should be. Like really, things, if not yet in your city, you can see it. You can see the end of the. You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. The tunnel's getting shorter and shorter all the time. I really didn't get other. Oh, damn it! Sorry, I have to get my coffee. I'm so sorry. I don't want the chemicals from the cleaning to infiltrate my coffee. It's terrible. It's a nice cinematic angle though, isn't it? Steady cam. Guys. It says 7 of you are still with me. No one's got any questions. Miguel, you know your next steps. You'll be thinking about looking for an agent, looking for potentially a course, looking for work. It's busy in London. Jules is going to take her directing credits off her resume, her non-script credits that are higher end, take them off your resume. What else? Just get out there and be a script supervisor, Miguel, as a student, I'm nervous about my time after uni, even if I know more or less what I should be doing. Oh yes, it's a really, you're absolutely right. I remember that time. And when I graduated, I think I've told some of you this story. When I graduated into a recession, and I graduated with a 40,000 Canadian in student debt. But this was in 1990, right? So a long time ago, 40,000 could feel like 80,000 today, right? So it was terrifying. It was a terrifying time, and I had no connections to the industry whatsoever. So I didn't know how I was going to get work. In my case, I found an internship with the Academy of Canadian Cinema that paid me to be on set, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So, I mean, you have some great advantages, Miguel, or anyone watching this who's graduating has some great advantages. You're entering the industry after all the hard times, so sort of at the end. I know the world is in a recession, but the film industry is not. Just like with the during the Depression, when the whole world was sort of in a recession, but the film industry was thriving. The film industry hasn't been thriving in the past few years, but unless something crazy happens with the strike, we're walking into a really good time. So you've got that advantage, and you've also got the big advantage of knowing exactly what you want to do. You want to script supervise, Miguel. It's a huge advantage. You don't have to spend time experimenting. And by the way, Miguel, Spain is also very, very busy this year if you want to also work there because you're also from Spain. Eddie, feeling very strange. I've had more replies in the past month than I've had jobs. That's normal, don't worry. Before I took the course, mostly negative news, but it's been far more active than I've known it to. Yeah, everyone's sort of coming out, everyone's coming out of their slumber. It's like coming out of hibernation. So you're competing with, and before you took the course, you were doing locations. Now you're doing script. Script is a department head position, so they're being very. And also, I know you're applying for assistant gigs. You're competing with people who are you're competing with people with 30 years experience, 10 years experience. It's not a bad thing. This is all normal. It's just to get not this time. It's no is not no forever. It's not this time. To get that is so good compared to radio silence, okay? Because you're on their radar. At least they know who you are. They've hopefully at least talked to you or met you or at least read your resume. This is all good stuff. You'll see in the film work playbook. Keep nurturing those relationships. Those relationships are everything. You did cold email someone's agent in January and was very surprised they got back to me last week asking for a CV. That's great. It's great, Eddie. No, you're like I told Eddie, his future's so bright, he's got to wear shades. Eddie's really, I think you're going to have no problem. Honestly, you're very hireable. You've got more experience than just script supervision. You're starting out on a really good foot as a script supervisor. You've got other experience. You've got some industry connections because of your other work in film. graduated this course, you are one of the superstars of the London group, you're going to be fine. But I understand that doesn't make it any less scary. Absolutely. Absolutely. But it is good news. And see, Jules, see, I was researching, and so we were doing the beta, the raw version, the rough version of Filmwork Playbook back in November, and we were going through all the agency rosters in the UK as part of it, because I had students in other parts of Europe in that class who were interested in getting agents from the UK, because they do crew films in other parts of Europe. And I saw some of my students who didn't have a ton of experience were on not only on the rosters, but they were getting gigs in like other European nations. So I wouldn't let not enough credits be something that stops you from at least talking to agents, because by the end of this year, a bunch of you are going to have a bunch more credits. So you might as well start doing the rounds. And what I mean by that is interview the agents that you're interested in. Like go to them, meet them, set up an interview. They might say, we're not ready to take you on yet. Some of them might say, we'll take you on a trial basis to see if there's interest in someone so new, or if we can help you. Because part of it, you got to think about what's in it for them. Can they help you? Because they don't make money unless they get you work, right? So if they don't think they can get you work yet, or at least not with the clients they have. So when you interview these agents, like ask them who like they tend to have professional relationships with, in terms of who do they normally, it's important. Who are their other clients? Do they have a lot of other script supervisors? Besides agencies, there's like the GEMS is a big diary service. So GEMS will just take a percentage of the work they get you. And it's like, I think, what is it, 10%? And it's like, I was almost going to say a sausage factory. It's like, a bulk amount of work. It's not like very career building, but it helps you access some work. So there's that. GEMS is in Wales, as Deborah probably knows. We've got 4 more minutes. But yeah, don't be disheartened by the word no, because no is not yet. And that's okay. It's never a, don't get embittered or drop the connection, the relationship, especially if you really connect with that agent. It's about the human side of it too. Like, do you connect with them on a human level is a really important thing. And you don't really know that till you meet them face to face. I met with one, I think they're a really good agency, but I've seen them do not great things for some of my students and great things for other of my students. So I think it's an agency can be great depending who you are. And I really liked them in person. I went to meet agents, by the way, not to work in the UK because I can't, but to represent me in Italy. And so I've only interviewed one, and I quite liked them, but I sensed a little bit of judgment. I sensed a little bit of judgment for my lifestyle outside of script supervision, which I won't get into here, but I have a very alternative kind of lifestyle. So I was like, oh, that's a little red flag that kind of went off in my head. Yeah. So, well, thank you guys for being here. Next week, we're back in the classroom, in ours on Zoom. So we'll deal with Stephanie's example from Suits, and I'll dissect what happened, why, if it was an axis cross, why I think it happened. And as we say in my course, shit happens. We do our best. Everyone try, there's things we have no control over. Sally with the reflection of the crew in the car. By the way, ultimately, it's first and foremost the camera operator's job to catch that, just so you know. It's not on you. It's partly on us to catch that. But first and foremost, it's the camera operator's job to catch that. So don't feel bad about it. It's good to know that happened, that it caused them some consternation in post, so that you can watch for it more next time. I know it was one of your first times doing scripts. So like, of course, not things will happen that you learn and watch out. Thank you, Miguel. Miguel says all the best. I feel like there's something else I want to say, but I don't know what it is. So I'm going to prep for my story. Oh yeah, Sally was asking me about rates for story editors. It's again a very long answer, and it's not script related. So I'll record a separate video sometime during the week. And if not, Sally, is it okay if we answer it on the Zoom next week? Is that too late to give you an answer for what you're doing? because I'm going away. I'm going out of town Tuesday, Wednesday to work on my pitch deck for my TV show. So much going on in the land of D here in Toronto, of course. Okay, so we know that as a backup plan, at the very least, we can talk about it for 10 minutes on next week's Zoom. It is a 10-minute answer. Sally wanted to know about story consulting rates. And for those who don't know, a lot of times as script supervisors, Eddie knows this, you will get asked feedback about scripts. You're having another conversation. You'll keep me updated. Okay, great. Definitely charge something, make it a rate that's worth it for you. I have different rates based on the length of the project and who the writer is and how much, just how much background and how much they need me to do. Because sometimes they want you to write. That's a different rate than just story consulting. All of that. Okay, more next week. Thanks, everyone. Nice to see everyone on YouTube. Thanks for all the engagement. Bye. Eddie, yeah. Okay, well, if you don't come to the Zoom next week, you can at least watch it in replay. I'll post it in the class.